everyone, welcome back. My name's Nathan and this is Andrew and this is Toby. So good to have you back. In this video we're going to be learning wall handstands in a little bit more detail than what we have in the past. If you've ever watched gymnastics in the past, you would have seen that handstands are actually a really important and fundamental skill across all of the different apparatus that gymnasts compete on. So by apparatus, I just mean all of those different things that gymnasts kind of do, all those really cool skills on. Handstands are really important, not just to floor, but all of them. So this is going to be a really useful lesson for you if you're really interested in improving in gymnastics. This video is going to assume that you don't know anything about handstands. Now we have learned handstands in the past in our previous videos, but that's okay. We're going to kind of talk about it in a little bit more detail in this video. As well as that, we're only going to learn handstands against a wall. Okay, so at home it's often not super safe to do handstands without a wall unless you're really good at them. Since this video is kind of assuming that you're a beginner, we're just going to learn it leaning against the wall. Alright, and now for warm-up, we're going to be playing a bit of a game. It's called mirroring, okay? And so the idea of this game is for you to copy everything that I do. So I'm gonna switch from shape to shape kind of quickly, and you gotta try and keep up. Alright, are you ready? Okay, we're gonna start with some pretty normal shapes. So we're gonna start a bit of stretching. Nice, alright, bit of stretching. To the other side. And a bit of this. Oh, good stretch. Alright, and leaning forward. Okay, nicely done. Alright, and see if you can balance on one foot and two hands. And see if you can balance on one foot like this. Okay, keep up. And now we're gonna get a little bit silly now, alright? Some of this, fantastic. Alright, and a little bit of shuffling. See if you can do this at home. Okay, a little bit of shuffling. And a bit of this. Nice. Alright, why don't you just look around like you're some animal. Okay, fantastic. And now some of this. Good. Freeze. And freeze. And freeze. And freeze. Nice. Alright. Hope you're keeping up. I'm getting a bit crazy. Nice. Oh, good. Well done, guys. Alright, bit of running on the spot now. Okay, good. Copy me. Alright, we're going in circles. We're going around. And the other way. Going the other way. Fantastic. Good. And bouncing. Bouncing from side to side. And left, right, forward, back, and around. Nice, and around. Okay, well done. I will see you in the next section.
Alright guys, now we're going to run a sensible stretch. Alright, so feet together, we're going to circle our arms backwards, as you can see. Making sure we're not just flaying our arms around like some kind of silly person, okay? Nice and straight arms. And now forwards. 3, 2, 1. Stop. Hands in the air. We're going to go one forward and one backwards. Alright? So it looks like this. Good job everyone at home. Now swapping. If you find this a bit too difficult, just go back to the one you're more comfortable with. Alright, shake out your arms. Alright, feet up. So what we're going to do, hand on our hip, arm over, reaching over to the side. 3, 2, 1. Now to the other side. 3, 2, 1. Reaching down to our foot. 3, 2, 1. Now to our other foot. 3, 2, 1. And now reaching in the middle. Try and bang the floor as loud as we can. Good job, everyone. All right, now everyone, sit down with your legs out in front of you, just like I'm showing here. Have your arms in the air. You're going to touch your feet and try and pull your heels off the ground. All right. This is important because you want to have nice bendy legs. All right, now into straddle. Arms up, reaching over to one side. 3, 2, 1. Other side. And 3, 2, 1. Arms up, reach in the middle. 3, 2, 1. Very good. All right, now we're going to do some wrist stretches now. All right. This is important when we're doing our handstands because if our wrists aren't warmed up, we're going to have a difficult time holding our handstand against the wall. Our wrists are going to get all sore and we're going to complain. It's going to be blah, 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 blah. All right. So palms facing forwards, reaching over your hands, just like this. And now reaching backwards, trying to push down against the floor. And now flip your hands to the side, rocking from shoulder to shoulder. And now other way. Now hands facing towards you, reaching backwards. And now reaching forwards, pushing against the ground. All right, now you're going to hold here, you're going to bend your arms in, and you're going to feel a nice strong stretch in your forearm. If this isn't hurting, or if it's not stretching you properly, you're probably doing it a little bit wrong. You might have your hand a bit to the side. Now make sure you have your hand facing perfectly towards you. Stretching here. And now arms together, rolling. Now we're going to stand up. All right, on our 2 feet. We're going to have our hands like this. We're going to reach up over our head and open our shoulders, all right? This is open shoulders like this. And we don't want to have our shoulders closed like this because when we're in a handstand, if we've got a bent body like this, you're not going to be able to hold yourself up and you might go splat on the floor. We don't want that, do we? No. So, and make sure you have your shoulders nice and open. Stretching for 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to go down, grabbing behind and reaching up. 1, 2, 3. Very good. All right, shake out your body. Good job, everyone. We'll see you in our next exercise.
Great. In this section, we're going to be talking a little bit about the strength requirements of handstands. So one thing that we do in gymnastics is obviously strength training because gymnastics doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. So for handstands, one of the very important strength requirements is actually core strength. One of the very common analogies that gymnastics coaches will talk about is the analogy of a stick versus a string. Which is easier to balance on its end? Well, it's obviously the stick, isn't it? But the reason being, it's actually strong, it's stiff. And so that actually needs to be us when we do our handstand. Where that stiffness actually comes from is from our core strength. So when we do handstand, and we'll talk about this later, we actually need to be able to squeeze our body, our core, and the rest of our body, but predominantly our core, to make ourselves really stiff and strong. So that's what these exercises that we're going to talk about now are actually going to help us improve. So Andrew, we're going to start off with some dish rocks. And Andrew's just going to show us 5. So Andrew, why don't you show us that? Great. So you would notice that as Andrew is rocking back and forth, he's squeezing his whole body. His legs are straight and rest. Nice. His legs were straight and his core was really engaged. Really important as well is when you're doing dish rocks, I want you to push your back into the floor. So maybe you can actually do this at home. So Andrew, if you just relax, you at home can also just lie down and relax on the floor. Then I want you to get your hand and place it underneath your back, and you should feel like a gap. You should feel a gap. Okay, so once you've found the gap, take it out. Now what I want you to do is use your tummy muscles and push your back into the ground and get rid of that gap. All right, so Andrew's trying to do that right now, and you should be able to feel, and the gap should be gone. Okay, and relax. Good. So that's called dish position. That's what we're talking about when we do dish position in handstand. So this exercise is also called a dish rock, because we're holding that dish position, pushing the back into the ground, making everything tight, and then rocking back and forth. So Andrew, do you want to just show us 5 more? So again, take a look at this, pushing the back into the ground, and everything is nice and tight. Okay, fantastic. Next one is going to be arch rocks. So this is one side, that's also going to strengthen a lot of our internal core muscles. But as well as that, we also need some strength in our back as well, and this is what arch rocks are designed for. So it's basically the same thing, except we're just going to do it on the other side of our body. So Andrew, would you please show us some arch rocks? Great. So you will see in here, he's arching his back, and really important, he's driving his heels, he's kicking his heels as he does the rocks. So again, this achieves a similar thing. We're just kind of building that core strength so that you're able to be as stiff as possible in handstands. Thank you, Andrew. Final thing, for the rest of your body, really the most important thing is for you to start spending a lot of time on your hands. Now, you don't have to do handstands all the time, but what you can do is kind of just practice. So you can put your feet up on the couch and kind of just like get onto your hands and walk around, try and touch your shoulders, maybe try and, shuffle around the place. All of this is going to strengthen your shoulders, your upper back, and all of the other kind of muscles, wrists, forearms, everything that's involved with holding a handstand. So that's basically all you need for strength. In the next section, we're going to start talking a little bit more about the handstand. Okay, we're going to get stuck in now, and Toby here is going to demonstrate to us what a good handstand against the wall is meant to look like. So we're going to do it such that we're facing away from the wall, and we're just going to walk our feet up. So Toby, how about you go and do that? So he's just going to go straight up into a wall handstand. Don't worry, you don't have to do this immediately. We're going to talk about this later in the video. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about what to pay attention to. So, starting from bottom up, we want hands shoulder width apart and open the fingers. We also want to tilt the head back slightly so we can just see between the thumbs. You'll also notice Toby's got really open shoulders. Okay, this is closed shoulders and this is open shoulders. So we want to be having open shoulders. We're going to talk about that some more as well. As well as that, we're going to have a dish position, so nice tight body and nice straight legs. So those are all the things to look out for. Thank you, Toby. You can come down. Great. Thank you so much, Toby. Now you would have seen that is actually a little bit difficult, isn't it? Toby's been doing handstands for a long time now. And even then, just as he was like doing that 30 seconds against the wall, he gets pretty tired. So would encourage you, like I was saying in the previous section of this video, try and spend more time on your hands. The more time you spend on your hands, kind of training those muscles, the more strength and endurance you're going to build, and the easier handstands are going to become. I'll see you in the next section. Okay, so in this section we're going to be talking a little bit about a drill called the box handstand to help you start progressing in your handstands. But before we do that, in the previous section you would have heard me talking about open shoulders, open shoulders. Toby spoke about it as well in the stretch. And I just want to show you why that's important. So Andrew's going to do open shoulders. And what I want you to imagine is that Andrew is actually doing a handstand. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to replicate the floor. So I'm going to push down on his hands. So Andrew has open shoulders at the moment. And if I push, he's quite strong, isn't he? Because he's in a straight line. All the force is being directed straight down his body. Now Andrew, if you close your shoulders for me, the floor is still going to push down this way. And so if I start pushing on Andrew now, he's much less strong. Okay? And the reason being is because Andrew has to push against the floor like this, as opposed to just having the floor on top of his body. And so when you're doing handstands at home, that's what I really want you to work on. Try and open up your shoulders. So now we're going to practice that when we do our box handstand, as well as the other technique when it comes to doing handstand. So you can do this on a couch at home or wherever you have kind of just a raised surface. What Andrew's going to do is he's going to put his knees up on the box. And what this drill is designed to do is get you to practice the handstand position. So, key pointers, we have knees on the box over here only. So we don't want to have our thighs resting on the box as well. As well as that, we have this straight body with, again, open shoulders. Nice, Andrew. Okay. As well as that, we have our hips directly over our hands. That's really important, otherwise we're going to be slanting when we do our actual handstand. And finally, if you take a look at Andrew's hands, you'll see that they're nice and open. Okay, so spread his fingers. That's so that he can balance well. The head is slightly tilted back, and he's actually pushing up away from the floor a little bit. So this is a way for you to kind of practice the shape while you're at home. And it's also a way for you to build strength, as I was saying before, right? So you can kind of just get onto your hands and practice that position, whenever you'd like. Okay, so now that we've kind of practiced the box handstand a little bit, you should kind of be more familiar with that technique. And so now it's actually time for us to move over and try that on the wall. So, how are we going to do that? Toby is going to stand right up against that wall. So you'll see his feet are right up against it. And he's going to take 4 foot lengths forward. So that's actually just 3 steps. 1, 2, and 3. Nice. Okay, so you can see that's where we've placed the marker. So you can actually do that at home. Just stand up against the wall and go 1, 2, 3, and see where your foot ends up. This marker is going to be where you put your hands. So Toby, if you'll get ready to do that, Toby's going to get his hands and he's going to put them there. Now, really important, when we're doing this at home, it's not quite as safe as what we're doing in the gym. Okay? So when we're doing this at home, I just want you to be careful. If you feel like your muscles are a bit tired, then I don't want you to push yourself too much. Just save that for when you actually come into the gym. In the gym, it's a little bit safer. So at home, just make sure that you take it easy. You can still practice this, but don't push yourself heaps. If you're not pushing yourself heaps, it's quite safe. So Toby is going to do this, and then he's going to walk his feet up the wall as comfortable as he feels. Okay, so Toby, why don't you go ahead and try that? Okay, so he's going to walk his feet up. So when he's up here, he's also practicing that position. Nice open arms. Now you notice Toby's hands are really far out, so it actually makes it a little bit difficult for him to be really straight. So as you'll notice, as you go close to the wall, it becomes easier to become straighter and straighter. Okay, thank you, Toby. So again, as we're doing this, walking our feet up, getting closer to the wall, we're practicing that whole time that handstand technique that we've been talking about. Cannot stress this enough. You cannot do a handstand without a wall, without first learning that body shape. Okay, well done. We'll see you in the next section. Okay, we're just going to spend a little bit of time talking about some common mistakes now when it comes to doing wall handstands. So Toby, if you'll just show us a terrible handstand, I'm just going to point out a couple of things. So, 3 things that are really common among gymnasts. Closed shoulders, arched back, and, watch this, floppy body, okay? Now, that's not easy for Toby to hold. And you know why? The reason is, all of those mistakes result in a handstand that's actually harder to hold. When you use the correct technique, handstands actually become really easy, which is how you start to see competitive gymnasts for holding handstands for 1, 2, 3 minutes or even more, all because they're kind of just using the correct technique and they're minimizing the amount of strength that their body has to use to hold their body up. So just to recap those things, Toby, can you just show us closed shoulders? Oh, you don't have to do the handstand. Just show us closed shoulders. So again, this is closed shoulders. We want to have open shoulders. Before, Toby also had an arched back. Toby, just arch your back for us. Yep. So this position we want dish position, and as well as that, we want to have nice body tension. Okay, so make sure that we are the stick rather than the string. Congratulations everybody, you've made it to the end of the video. And by now you should have all of the information that you need to be able to start practicing handstands for yourself at home, but as well as that, to actually understand how the handstand works and different areas of strength that you need to improve on in order to do them well. Again, my name's Nathan, this is Andrew, and this is Toby, and on behalf of Sydney Hills, thanks so much for watching this video, and we hope to see you in the gym soon.